Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. We're learning more information about the arrest of a Pensacola community activist late last week.
Michael Kimbrell is charged with violating a city ordinance and resisting arrest after Pensacola police say Kimbrell failed to provide an ID as the organizer of a food distribution for the homeless Friday night. PPD says Kimbrell failed to cooperate with officers after being informed his event was violating a city ordinance on events after dark. Today, Officer Mike Woods says PPD never intended to file charges, only warned Kimbrell, but his failure to comply led them no choice.
The officer recognized him but did not know his name for sure. And before we can warn somebody and put it in our system that they've been warned, we need to know who we're talking to. And he refused to give his name.
Had Mr. Kimbrell given his name, the event could have taken place.
If Mr. Kimbrell had given his name, the officer would have gotten his car and left immediately.
Tonight at 5, we'll break down more on this body cam video released this afternoon by PPD.
State troopers are deciding whether a 17-year-old driver should face charges after a crash on Highway 29. Around 1 a.m. Sunday, investigators say the teen made a left turn onto Neal Road. His truck collided with an oncoming pickup. FHP says the other driver, a 21-year-old woman, lost her unborn baby because of the crash. No other major injuries were reported.
Work's getting started to tear down the old Pensacola fishing bridge to make room for a replacement. Mayor Reeves confirming today crews will be staging at Wayside Park. He says the park itself needs work as well due to damage from Hurricane Sally. He said they've been paralyzed by the process of getting funding from FEMA. Another holdup relates to efforts to prevent crashes at Graffiti Bridge like the one this morning. It really tore up a delivery truck.
One of the delays has been the additional technology that we're going to be putting in place. Some of that technology equipment needed to go on FDOT right away, to allow it. But we're still moving ahead with that, and that we will have the most advanced warning system that certainly has been put in the city. I can't promise that that's going to overcome, drivers not paying attention, but we're going to do our best.
The mayor says work on the warning system is expected to begin in early February.
A canine that detects weapons could be coming to Gulf Breeze High School. The cost is upwards of $18,000. The police department applied for a grant to purchase the dog. Police say they likely won't receive it. Now the department is seeking approval from City Council to accept donations to help fund the dog. Now that vote is set to happen at tonight's City Council meeting.
I think for the students, for the faculty, it's just another way to try to keep the schools safer. We all know, we all see what's on the news, and what we're trying to do is make, the Gulf Breeze schools, as safe as possibly that we can, especially since we have all 3 schools right together.
Now, this isn't listed in the city budget, so it's up to the police department to come up with the funds. If the police department moves forward with purchasing the dog, it won't be just used to sniff out guns. I'll have more on that tonight at 6, plus the other locations the dog will be used.
A new restaurant inside Cordova Mall helping people get back on their feet. Overflow Health Alliance just opened Salad, Sweets, and Drinks. Overflow is a transition program to help people get off the streets. The employees at the new restaurant have been through the program themselves. 80% of all proceeds go back to Overflow's job and housing support programs.
Well, it means a lot to me just because I am one of the people who came in off the streets. I'm one of the success stories, if you will. 4 months ago, I had nowhere to go, so I came to Overflow. So the fact that they've entrusted this restaurant with me, it means a lot.
Coming up at 6, hear how this restaurant started with a simple conversation about healthy eating.
The East Hill Neighborhood Association is holding their Holiday Makers Market tomorrow, starting at 3 in the afternoon. They'll light the Christmas tree and sing Christmas carols at 6 p.m. It's all going on at Cordova Square Park on 12th Avenue.
Because of anticipated rain tonight, Fort Walton Beach is moving their Christmas parade to tomorrow night. It'll start at 6:30, rolling along Eglin Parkway from 1st Street to Hughes Street.
First Morning Weather, sponsored by Pensacola State College.
Yeah, that's a shame that it was canceled because of the weather. I mean, what are we expecting, Alan?
'Tis the season, Alan.
So it was tonight, but they moved it to tomorrow night?
Right.
A good call, because tomorrow night looks great. Yeah, it'll be chilly, but yeah, 'tis the season, right?
Yeah.
A little
Love it.
cool. Yeah, I mean, the rainy weather, it's moving through. I mean, we've got it right now. Look at this radar imagery showing we've got quite a bit of activity here around the area. So showers will be moving through, maybe even a thunderstorm or two. We've got another batch of rain. You can see it's back toward Louisiana. So as we head through tonight and overnight, we can just expect more rain. In fact, we might even end up with 1 to 2 inches of rain as we head through tonight. And then tomorrow, the weather will end up being drier and just a cool day with a little bit of a breeze. Because of this rain, look at this. Part of the Panhandle, a large part of it, and Baldwin County, included in the severe weather outlook. Despite this cooler weather and air that we've got in the area, there's a marginal 1 out of 5 risk here that something may pop up, maybe something like a water spout moving on shore or something like that. So that's why this was issued. Not expecting a watch or anything like that, but the severe weather outlook, including this sort of small area here across the northern Gulf Coast where we could see some dynamics that would allow for that. Looking at the skies here, we've seen some interesting cloud formations. There's a big roll cloud across the area here. Had some people send in some pictures and such. And you can see just as plain cloudy as we view things here from the Hardee's Beach Camp, looking down at Santa Rosa Island, which is very quiet down there. They've got red flags flying as well. And our temperatures right now are in the 50s in most cases here. And it's just going to continue to be fairly cool here throughout tonight and overnight. Look for that rainy weather. I mean, it's going to be off and on all evening long through the late night hours, and it'll start to move out at about 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it'll move on, and then it should end up being dry here for tomorrow. So that's the way things are looking around the area here as we check the next couple of days.
Destin City Council will hear public comment on a hotel proposal. They're considering a development order for a Drury Plaza hotel. The site is on Highway 98 near Sandprint Drive. Plans for the hotel call for a 6-story building with 320 hotel rooms plus a conference space. The public hearing will be held at the meeting starting at 6 tonight.
Escambia County and the city of Pensacola are beginning their annual Keep the Wreath Green campaign. Cold weather, extra cooking, and holiday decorations are all linked to an increase in fire dangers. When you see a red light on a wreath outside a fire station, it represents a home or a business damaged by fire.
16 of the nation's top women's soccer programs competing this week at Ashton Brosnahan Soccer Complex in Escambia County. The National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics holding their national championship playoffs. Tickets are available online. Individual game tickets available for under $12.
And Choctawhatchee High School is in the Final Four. They'll host defending 4A champs American Heritage Plantation Friday at 7:30. Choctaw is the only Northwest Florida high school still playing for the state championship.
The city of Gulf Breeze could add speed cameras to school zones. Tonight, the city council will vote on modifying an ordinance allowing the new speed detection system to be installed. The cameras would be installed under a law from 2023 that allows municipalities to install the cameras. Drivers will be given a ticket if caught going more than 10 miles over the speed limit. Tonight's meeting starts at 5:30.
Subdivision will be going up in Molino. The Escambia County Development Review Committee recently gave final approval to Blue Water Creek Estates. The gated community will be on Highway 97, just north of Sunshine Hill Road. It will have lots for single-family homes ranging in size from 4 to 12 acres.
Coming up, the suspect in a high-profile murder in court today. The evidence Luigi Mangione wants to exclude from trial.
I'm Christine Frizzau in Washington, where the Trump administration has brought nearly all forms of immigration to a halt. The details ahead.
Download the WEAR News app now, sponsored by Forrest Jordan and Associates.
Now, over Scenic Highway and Interstate 10 heading into Santa Rosa County. Traffic is very busy right now as expected on this Monday afternoon. All of us back to work from the holidays as we approach yet another holiday. Stay safe out there, everyone. Traffic's flowing smooth right now. In Washington, the border is essentially declared closed to immigrants wanting to come into the United States.
Today, growing concerns for tens of thousands of people already here who thought they were on the right path. Here's national correspondent Christine Frizzau. She reports on fears they too may be facing deportation.
A permanent pause on asylum. With new hints, the aggressive crackdown on immigration in this country is now reaching new heights.
The Trump administration issued a travel ban for 19 countries, including Afghanistan. Special immigrant visas, which is a legal pathway to get here, which we know many Afghans have utilized to come into the country, have now been paused since the tragic shooting last week.
Following the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, allegedly by an Afghan national, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Director Joe Edlow announced he's directed a rigorous re-examination of every green card for those coming from every country of concern. President Donald Trump has singled out 19 he believes pose a threat to national security, or at the very least aren't set up to share good information on their residents.
These third world nations, they don't have systems like we do. And we're going to count on the people that run Afghanistan, the Taliban, to provide us any information who the bad guys were or who the good guys are? Certainly not.
While the suspect in last week's shooting came into the country through a program called Operation Allies Welcome, meant to help those who helped the U.S. in Afghanistan, and was vetted, some experts question how fully he and the thousands of others' backgrounds are being investigated once they're here.
When we say they were vetted by the CIA, that means they were vetted to do operational work in a war zone. They weren't vetted to become residents of the United States or move to suburbia somewhere.
Some critics, though, denouncing the decision to punish thousands of people for the evil acts of 1 or 2.
These are individuals who worked side by side with America in the fight against the Taliban. And if they were sent back now, the Taliban may likely kill them and execute them.
The Trump administration is also calling attention to refugee admissions into this country, which are essentially at zero, with the exception of Afrikaners fleeing persecution in South Africa. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
And point your camera at the QR code on your screen to answer our question of the day. Do you agree with President Trump's permanent pause on immigration from third world and high-risk countries? You can also head to our X or Facebook page to let us know what you think. Luigi Mangione in court today, facing charges for the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. New York State prosecutors showed video of the shooting as Mangione sought to bar evidence about the crime. They want information about a handgun and a notebook found in a backpack Mangione had with him when he was arrested. The notebook allegedly revealing his plans for the shooting. He has pleaded not guilty to both state and federal murder charges. His next federal hearing is scheduled for January.
Airbus is making emergency modifications to its A320 airplanes. They've learned intense solar radiation may corrupt data crucial to flight controls. Today, the company confirming around 6,000 planes were potentially affected. Most have had the necessary work done. They say fewer than 100 still need modifications. The A320 is one of the models assembled in Mobile.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing and Electrical. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strom.
Lots of cloud cover in the sky as we see this view here from the Island House Hotel out of Orange Beach, Alabama. As we check the scene, we've got a rainy mess here across areas of the south and northern Gulf Coast. This rain moving in right now, and this is going to be the case here as we head right on through tonight and into the late night hours as well. Top part of this, you see the blue up there, that's snow. They've seen some wintry weather, and I heard from a lot of people that traffic all over the place yesterday was pretty brutal, slow going here around the area, but now we've got more rain, and that could be slowing things down as well. You can see this moving on shore and across areas here indicated by that radar. So off and on, pockets of heavy rain can be expected as well. As we check the severe weather outlook, you do see this area right here, this green zone here. So we are in that. It's a low end marginal, but it's on the map, and it's just for this small isolated area of the Florida Panhandle from this side of the Big Bend through Apalachicola, Panama City, on up toward Crestview and areas like Century, Pensacola, even Baldwin County included within this as well. So this is just saying that in this spot, we might have an isolated severe storm pop up around the area. It's cool weather, but it's possible we do get a thunderstorm, and our Futurecast is showing a lot on the map as we take it through this evening tonight. Our newscast later tonight begins at 10. Join us for WEAR News at 10. We'll see what's going on, and you see a little bit of a twisting here with our winds here. This is when we may see, some strong cells move here on on shore or over the area. This is midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when we're expecting this to shift through. That's showing some very heavy rain in the area there, right at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's when we could have one of those cells in the area. And then it'll clear out by about 3 or 4. So it does move on and out of the area. And then tomorrow we'll probably get some afternoon sunshine, some cold air rolls back into the area. And I'm going to fast forward here into Thursday where we bring back a chance for rain later this week. So another high rain chance later on in the week. All right, as we check out rainfall amounts, how much we'll get, looks like it's probably going to be between 1 and 2 inches of rain. So definitely some substantial rain here as we head through the next 6, 7, 8 hours or so is what we're expecting here around the area with regard to these little cells that are going to be moving on shore. Our temperatures right now are mainly in the 50s and overnight. Mostly 50s here around the area is what we're expecting tomorrow morning. And then during the day tomorrow, pretty much in the 50s throughout the day. And then here's some cold air tomorrow night into Wednesday morning where lows are going to be down in the 30s. Could see a light freeze for some of those inland spots. So a lot of cloud cover in the sky, certainly to start tomorrow, maybe some afternoon sunshine. But tomorrow's weather looks dry. It's tonight and overnight that we've got the chance for rain. High risk of rip currents. Let's check things out down there. From the Hardee's Beach Cam, Hilton at Pensacola Beach is where we have the camera. And it's like a ghost town down there. Some of that rain is going to continue to move in and out of the area as well. So look for that. Still beautiful, though, as we always check that scene. So a look ahead does show rain will move out early tomorrow morning, and then we'll likely see a dry day tomorrow. Wednesday, a cold morning, a dry day there. But Thursday and Friday, plan for more rain to be back in the area. It's a little bit up in the air on Saturday. We'll keep you updated. We'll know more as we get closer.
The WEAR First Warning Weather App, sponsored by Murray Jewelers.
It's the busiest time of year for sending and receiving gifts, as well as for ordering online. That means porch pirates are on the prowl. Jen Sullivan looks into the best ways to protect your parcels.
It's the season of giving, but for wannabe thieves, December is the season of opportunity as packages pile up outside people's doors. That's why experts say it's important to take extra security steps so Grinches don't grab your gifts.
We want to make sure people are aware when their packages are arriving to their doorsteps.
Richard Rocha with Amazon says the vast majority of their packages arrive without issue. But to help raise awareness about package safety, Amazon is partnering with the National Sheriff's Association this year. Last year, at least 58 million packages were stolen, and roughly 25% of Americans have been a victim. It's a crime that causes billions of dollars in financial losses a year, and these types of crimes tend to go up during the holidays. So what can you do to protect your packages? If you're not going to be home, FedEx and UPS allow you to deliver your packages to a different address. Out of town, the U.S. Postal Service will hold your mail for up to 30 days. Amazon allows users to use lockers for up to 3 days.
We have more than 25,000 locations across the U.S. where people can choose to have their packages sent, including a Whole Foods or one of our hub lockers that are available.
You can also leave instructions with your Amazon delivery driver, like request to have packages delivered behind your home. So what should you do if your packages are stolen? Rocha says call Amazon customer service. And security experts say most retailers will send you a new item, but they are getting stricter. You should also file a police report. And while security cameras can help catch the thieves in the act, law enforcement recommends not engaging with the thief. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Pensacola Cinema Art showing the new film Eternity. It follows a woman in the afterlife who has 1 week to decide if she'll spend eternity with her husband or her first love, who's been waiting for decades. December 5th through 7th at 1 in the afternoon at the SCI building on Garden Street. $10 cash at the door.
Another rollover for Powerball. The jackpot tonight is an estimated $740 million. A single winner could choose a lump sum cash payment of $346 million.
A ticket purchased in Crestview matched all 5 numbers in last night's Fantasy 5 drawing: 4, 5, 7, 9, and 17. The ticket is now worth just over $24,000. It was sold at the Sunshine Food Mart on Furdon Boulevard.
Chime in, sponsored by Florida Power and Light.
We're celebrating December birthdays today on Chime In. To share your pictures and videos, text WEAR TV to 95577 or look for the Chime In page on our website.
The best age for a child to get a smartphone, the health risks revealed by new research.
Plus, the spirit of giving, filling the Mayflower one can and box at a time.
Two U.S. senators are calling for an investigation into scam ads on social media. Republican Josh Hawley and Democrat Richard Blumenthal are urging the Federal Trade Commission and Securities and Exchange Commission to look into the issue. Their request follows reporting by Reuters that Meta allows billions of high-risk ads every day. The senators say topics of the ads range from crypto schemes to fake offers of federal benefits. Their letter says Meta made a conscious decision to profit from illicit ads.
A new study is highlighting the potential health risks of smartphones for children. ABC's Melissa Adon reports research published in the journal Pediatrics found that kids who have a smartphone by age 12 are at a higher risk of depression, obesity, and lack of sleep than those who do not yet have a smartphone.
Many parents are probably seeing it on their kids' holiday wish list this year, a smartphone. It brings access to their friends and the internet at their fingertips. But researchers now say it could bring some major health risks for some children. According to a new study published in the journal Pediatrics, children who owned a smartphone by the age of 12 were more likely to have depression, obesity, and lack of sleep. Adding that each earlier year a child as young as age 4 gets access to a smartphone, it raises the odds of these health problems by about 10% compared with kids who received a smartphone later or not at all. The study did not look at tablets, laptops, iPads, or smartwatches. Doctors say it does matter what age kids get phones.
We want less devices, less screens, more childhood.
While researchers do not recommend one specific age for when kids are ready for a smartphone, doctors say the decision on smartphone readiness has more to do with weighing the benefits of a smartphone and the child's own levels of responsibility.
If a parent gave their child a bicycle or let them drive for the first time, parents naturally think about the risks and they protect their children. We need to have the exact same approach when it comes to giving our children and teens their first smartphone. We need to be thinking about their health, online exposure, potential addictive behavior, and how owning a smartphone might affect their long-term health.
It's important to point out the study is observational and researchers cannot show smartphones are the cause of these issues. Now, the researchers recommend parents talk to their pediatricians to help determine if their child is ready for a phone. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
As TikTok's popularity grew, all the platforms started focusing on short-form videos, and that may be bad for our minds. Researchers reviewed data from nearly 100,000 people across 71 studies. They found as people watched more short videos, their ability to think and focus decreased, and they were more likely to suffer from mental health issues, including anxiety and depression. Researchers say more studies needed to fully understand the impacts of short videos. It's the busiest shopping weekend of the year, and what we know about the massive amounts of shopping going on right now.
It's now.
Holiday shopping continues Friday at the SCI building on West Garden Street. Raleigh Gulf Coast is holding a pop-up shopping soiree from 10 to 4. Admission is free and includes complimentary champagne and snacks. Businesses donate a percentage of sales to support research into childhood cancers. Many more shops and restaurants are taking part on Saturday. You can find locations on the Raleigh Gulf Coast Facebook page.
U.S. shoppers expected to spend more than $14 billion online today, according to Adobe Analytics. Black Friday and Cyber Monday seeing higher consumer spending than last year.
Who's doing all that spending and how much they're buying paints a clearer picture of how tariffs and inflation are impacting shoppers differently. Michael Yoshida joining us live from Washington with more.
Consumer experts we spoke with say shoppers have actually been buying fewer items this holiday shopping season, but with higher average prices. That's why we're seeing these bigger than before spending numbers, and some say it's all part of the so-called K-shaped economy.
U.S. consumers spent $11.8 billion online this Black Friday, with an estimated $14.2 billion more expected to be spent Cyber Monday, according to Adobe Analytics.
This 5-day period from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday is significant for retailers.
Money going into online shopping carts could reach new heights this year, but consumer experts warn people might actually be buying less. And the high dollar numbers are largely due to the impact of tariffs and higher prices from inflation.
What's happening is that the number of items purchased is actually down, but prices are higher. Average selling prices are higher. So we are seeing the increase in spending due to that inflation.
National consumer expert Claudia Lombana says who is spending their money is another key thing to pay attention to.
The ones that have higher income are spending at will, but those who are less affluent are budgeting.
Some argue it's part of the so-called K-shaped economy.
They're talking about that funny looking capital letter. You know, there's the bit that stands up and there's a bit that goes up and a bit that goes down.
With higher earners getting a boost from stock market investments and home valuation, while lower earners are increasingly living paycheck to paycheck.
Those who are already financially very well off, their economy is going pretty well for them. Those who are less well off, working and middle class Americans, they're the lower part of that K, and maybe their economy is pointing south.
And economist Justin Wolfers added that while he's not sure if we are in that K-shaped economy, he does believe recent budget policies, tariff policies have been K-shaped, meaning they're impacting various income levels in different ways. He says that's why this holiday season we may be seeing some shoppers pulling back on the amount they're buying. Back to you.
Now, when we talk about retail sales being up despite the cost of living squeeze and other economic pressures, what more do the numbers show?
So when you look just big picture, the National Retail Federation projecting more than $1 trillion worth of spending this holiday season. And when you look at maybe where that money is being spent, apparel is one of those that's seen a significant increase, with MasterCard suggesting this could be shoppers looking for more of deals, more maybe convenience, also trying to refresh their wardrobes, something that can last well beyond just this holiday season. Also, we're seeing, of course, a lot more buy now, pay later options for shoppers. Of course, this is something we've seen become very popular in recent years, and it continues so this holiday season, with Adobe Analytics forecasting more than $20 billion worth of this form of payment method happening throughout the holiday shopping season. Just another example of how maybe shoppers are trying to extend their budgets in these economic conditions.
Michael, what do we know about how technology is changing how people are doing their online shopping this year?
With everything else these days, technology continuing to evolve the way we go about our daily lives, including how we search for those deals, whether it's Black Friday or today, Cyber Monday. Adobe Analytics projecting nearly 60% of the online shopping that's going on will take place either on a smartphone, a wearable, so maybe your smartwatch, or your tablet. That's a huge change when you look just 5 years ago, when a majority of this shopping was happening with people hunched over their desktop computers. So obviously the shopping changing, becoming more convenient for people. And with that, we're also seeing AI become a much bigger part. When you look just at Black Friday, some Salesforce data projecting that nearly 20% of those sales were the result of some sort of AI assistant or other digital agent helping people find deals and items to buy. So as with everything these days, artificial intelligence playing a bigger role in our holiday shopping.
Michael Yoshida joining us live today. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
First Warning Weather, sponsored by Pensacola State College.
Plan for rainy weather to be off and on, and more on than off as we head through this evening and tonight. This radar is showing a soggy pattern around the area, and it's just going to continue. We zoom out the map and you can see there's more back toward the west. All of this will be shifting through the area as we head through the next 8 hours or so into the late night hours, even after midnight. And do check this out. We've got a severe weather outlook zone that includes our area. It includes all of Northwest Florida here. Baldwin County is in that as well. So this is saying that we might see a strong or severe thunderstorm appear within this area, maybe a waterspout moving on shore or something like that. And if so, it's more likely to be a little bit later on tonight. So this severe weather outlook is for today and into tonight. The rain will be moving on during the overnight hours, and we'll have some quiet weather here as we take it through tomorrow, with a little bit of a breeze blowing tomorrow, though, so do expect that. Here's the view from our Hardee's beach cam. Awfully cloudy there in the skies, and rain coming down as well as we check things. They've got red flags out there along the coast, and our forecast does show that chance for rain continues until about 2 in the morning or so, maybe 2 or 3, and then it will be moving on and out of the area. So tomorrow's weather likely is going to end up being dry. And as we check out our temperatures here, we're looking at 50s overnight, 50s during the day tomorrow, Wednesday 50s as well, and also Tuesday night and Wednesday morning a cold spot in there where we've got temperatures that will be in the 30s.
By the hundreds you came. It was just knowing that someone somewhere in our community might not have food to eat that brought you out, the angels in the midst. We never take for granted your kindness and generosity. We never take it for granted, and we always want to express our gratitude.
Angels in Our Midst, sponsored by Anderson Subaru.
Before the sun came up, before the key arrived to unlock the door to the Mayflower truck, you started coming with your gifts. And you kept rolling through all day. The lines just warmed your heart. They touched you as much as the stories that brought people to give. People like Trish Ballard remember what it's like to have hard times.
I remember back when we first moved to Pensacola and we were living paycheck to paycheck. We didn't have a whole lot of extra. Well, now we're in a position where we do have some extra and we want to pay back to our community.
I love it.
Businesses, clubs, organizations rolled in with carloads, truckloads, or checks that their groups had come together to donate. There was a spirit of community, just neighbors helping each other in a time of need. Vet Cola was one of the many who came to support.
With the government shutdown that just happened, and the amount of veteran and first responder families here in the area, we definitely needed to do something to give back. This was an event that there was already something there. You know, the wheel was already made, so we came in and just came to assist.
Our young people were also sharing compassion. The Delta Sigma Theta sorority brought the donation collected by their youth group, the Delta Gems.
This year they decided again to donate canned goods and non-perishable food items for those that are in need. We discussed about how those that are less fortunate than them and how blessed they are, and so when people are blessing you, you always need to bless others as well. So we can continue pouring, and you don't ever want to pour from an empty cup.
It was truly another day of gratitude, a record-breaking day. You filled the Mayflower and then some, many times over. You donated almost 50,000 meals to feed people right here in our community.
Beautiful, that's sweet.
Because of you, some child, some senior citizen will not go to bed hungry tonight. Thank you.
Angels in Our Midst.
Coming up, a nip in the air, the impact of weather changes on the holiday spirit.
I'm national correspondent Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Coming up, a $1 billion fraud scandal rocks Minnesota. Why Governor Tim Walz is now facing intense scrutiny.
All right, and now you are taking a live look at Brent Lane and Davis Highway. I know it looks a little bit different, some still frames here, but it is a live look at what the roads are looking like right now. As you can see, it's looking like it's starting to get a bit slick out there, seeing some of that rain that Alan was talking to us about, and we'll hear more about that coming up in just a bit in his full weather report. But as you're out there traveling on the roadways, be safe out there. Like I said, it's going to be rainy and a wet one out there this afternoon.
A massive fraud scandal in Minnesota now gaining national attention. Federal prosecutors say at least $1 billion in taxpayer funds, money intended to feed children during the pandemic, was stolen.
That money reportedly taken in widespread schemes, many of them operating within the state's Somali community. National correspondent Kayla Gaskin reports now Governor Tim Walz is under fire.
A $1 billion fraud scandal is shaking Minnesota politics and putting Governor Tim Walz on defense.
Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail.
Prosecutors say over $1 billion in taxpayer funds was stolen. Money meant to feed children, house the homeless, and treat those with autism. Those convicted so far are mostly members of Minnesota's Somali community, accused of billing the state for services that never existed. President Trump slamming Governor Walz for allowing this rampant fraud to happen on his watch.
I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia.
I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals.
The first fraud charges came in 2022 against Feeding Our Future, accused of using taxpayer money for luxury cars and real estate instead of food for kids. But state officials had raised red flags 2 years earlier, questioning suspicious invoices. The New York Times reports the group pushed back, warning the state that delaying approval for minority-owned businesses would lead to a racism lawsuit. A later state audit found some officials were hesitant to crack down, fearing racism accusations in the post-George Floyd climate.
House Majority Whip Tom Emmer is now calling on the Justice Department to investigate reports that money stolen from Minnesota through these fraud schemes may have been funneled into the hands of al-Shabaab, a Somali-based terror group. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing and Electrical. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
Well, it's cloudy and it is rainy. Hard to see much here. Still got a little daylight, but we're looking at the road down there to Navarre Beach from Portofino. Just a cloudy, gray, rainy scene, and that's what's up. So it's rain here across the south where you see all this green showing up on our map. On this map, the blue color, that indicates snow. We've got some up the Mississippi River, as you can see in some areas up toward the Midwest, getting some snow. But for us around here, it is going to be a rainy night. This will continue to be off and on, and probably more on than off. So a soggy evening and night. This is going to continue even into the late night and overnight hours with the rain. In fact, the severe weather outlook has, this is a kind of a small area outlined here that is included within the severe weather outlook. So on our scale from 1 to 5, it is a 1. So that's on the low end, and we see a 1 all the time. But what it's saying is this particular zone right here could have a strong thunderstorm or a severe storm move through or pop up. So, you know, low chance of that, but it's still possible. Maybe a water spout moves on shore or something like that, especially later tonight as we end up with a potential for a thundercell to move through the area. Even though the weather's cold, usually when we have cold weather like this, we don't end up with any kind of threat, but we've got that going on here. And our Futurecast says, yeah, look for it into the late night hours. So here's 10 o'clock. Join us for WEAR News at 10. We'll have an update. We'll look at things, see what's going on, but you can see a lot of rain forecast in the area here. And then this will continue, you know, midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Here you can see some active weather over northwest Florida. This is indicating the potential for a thunderstorm there right at around 1 o'clock in the morning. And then as we head toward 4 or 5 a.m., that's when the rain moves out. Clouds will hang around, but we'll end up with likely dry weather during the day tomorrow. There's really not much of a chance for rain during our day on Tuesday. And then by the afternoon and into Wednesday, we'll see some clearing. I'm fast forwarding here into Thursday, where we again bring back a good chance for rain. So late this week, also a pretty good chance for rain. So a little bit soggier here around the area this week. Rainfall amounts are probably going to run between 1 and 2 inches of rain. So yeah, certainly some heavy rain possible with these pockets of rain moving through the area. Yeah, our temperatures are just going to continue to be cool with temps running here in the 50s here basically throughout this evening, tonight, and overnight. We might pop up into the low 60s, so officially our high tomorrow may end up being in the low 60s, but overall plan for the day tomorrow to be in the 50s, and then tomorrow night and into Wednesday morning, that's when we've got lows in the 30s, so that's going to be a cold night there, or a cold morning on Wednesday, so keep that in mind. But tomorrow we'll start with a lot of cloud cover. We'll end up maybe with some afternoon sunshine and just overall a pretty cool day. Coastal conditions a little bit rough. There's the Okaloosa Island view from the Gulf area. As we do check it, red flags are flying. High risk of rip currents is what it's considered. Water's cooled back down, and our Seatone Marine forecast looks pretty rough tomorrow as well. Hardee's Beach Cam view. Hilton at Pensacola Beach is where we have the camera, and there's your setup. It's it's raining down there now, but we've still got a pretty good view of things along the coast. So tomorrow, the rain will move out likely before the sun comes up, so the rest of the day will end up being dry. You see this cool weather for the next few days. Thursday and Friday, though, back to a high rain chance. I'd plan on late week rain in the area. Saturday's a little bit up in the air right now. We'll keep you updated on that one, and Sunday's weather is looking dry. Marion Caldwell is in with us today, and Marion, here we are into December, and it's feeling cool, and I think people are getting into the Christmas spirit now, it seems like.
Yeah, we did close out November and are kicking off December with cooler air, which did arrive just in time for all of our Thanksgiving festivities. And even this week, we'll be getting yet another round of cold air behind that system that Alan was just talking about. But as we look further into December, the Climate Prediction Center is keeping Northwest Florida in that warmer than normal range, which means we're likely heading into the holiday season with more mild days than those cold snaps. And that warmth can actually really shape how we ease into the Christmas spirit. Study shows that weather plays surprisingly a big role in our mood, our shopping habits, and even when we decide it's time to decorate. And when it's chilly early in the season, people tend to lean towards the cozy activities like hot holiday drinks, blankets, and movie, and other indoor activities like shopping. But when it stays warm like what we're expecting, people often shift into a different kind of festive mode. You see more outdoor light displays, more porch gatherings, and even those fun Florida traditions like decorating palm trees or wearing shorts while hanging Christmas lights. Although today might not be the best day to knock that out, some nicer weather is in store to maybe get that done. So while we may not see that crisp winter feel, a warm December doesn't dampen the holiday spirit. It just gives us that uniquely Gulf Coast version of it. And to me, maybe even some out there's something pretty great about enjoying Christmas lights without freezing to death. And after all, that is the kind of weather that we all know and love here in Florida, right? Back to you guys.
Thank you, Marion. We like snow every now and then, too. One day of the year. Coming up, new protections for your money. The technology one banking company is rolling out for online wallets.
Motivate Your Monday is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
With the changing of the seasons, it's important for all of us to keep health in mind and try our best to fight off illnesses. Whether it's the common cold, the flu, or the stomach bug, all sicknesses can knock us down. So here are some helpful tips to try to stay healthy. First, keep your hands clean. From grocery carts to touching doors, you never know what germs you may be spreading. Next, step up your vitamin game. A multivitamin is always a good option, and make sure it includes zinc and vitamin C. Another important immunity boost is living a healthy lifestyle by exercising and having a clean diet. Finally, keep your home clean. Sanitize areas with high traffic and open up the windows on occasion to let in some fresh air. Stay healthy, friends.
Morgan & Morgan wants to help you start your week off right so you can stay motivated on your path to wellness. For more ways to motivate your Monday, go to WEARTV.com.
A Singapore company, Ant International, is teaming with the makers of smart glasses to offer iris identification. Ant says their Alipay Plus system compares more than 260 biometric feature points to verify ID. They claim it can recognize if someone's trying to use a photo or video to bypass security. Ant says the upgrade will be available to 100 million merchants in their network.
The White House is opening its doors for public tours just in time for the holidays. This year's theme is Home is Where the Heart Is. The decor includes a White House made of gingerbread, 75 wreaths, and 51 trees. Decorators used 700 feet of garland, 25,000 feet of ribbon, and 10,000 butterfly ornaments to bring the First Lady's vision to life. Sounds like my mom's house, 51 Christmas trees in there.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's a lot of decoration, isn't it?
Yeah,
is
but
it
you
worth
gotta
it?
love it. You gotta love it. You only get it one time a year.
That's right. 1 month of the year.
Yes,
for some.
1 month of the year. Exactly.
It's beautiful. We'll be right back, everyone, with a look ahead to WEAR News at 5.
Here's your look ahead later this week, a chance for rain, but we've got it moving through right now. In fact, the severe weather outlook includes our area. If you're just joining us, hang out right now on WEAR News at 5. I'll show you the area that's outlined on it.
Also just ahead, a Pensacola homeless advocate arrested over the weekend while the police say he was taken into custody. A new call for an investigation into the military strikes on alleged drug boats, what lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are saying. Those stories and more just ahead. Please stay with us.
MLK Park is unique, and it is an outlier. It's a little different than our standard parks.
Why he was charged for hosting an event that's been going on for 14 years.
Gulf Breeze High School wants to increase safety on campus.
We all know, we all see what's on the news.
The challenge to purchasing a weapon-sniffing canine.
The Trump administration confirms the military ordered 2 strikes on one suspected drug boat, targeting survivors.
Give us the evidence that the folks on board were really narco-traffickers.
Lawmakers now demanding answers and questioning whether the Trump administration has committed a war crime.
WEAR News at 5 starts now.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. This Pensacola community activist arrested late last week, charged with violating a city ordinance and resisting arrest. Pensacola police say Michael Kimbrough failed to provide an identification card as the organizer of a food distribution for the homeless on Friday night. The police say Kimbrough failed to cooperate with officers after being informed his event was violating a city ordinance on events after dark. Well, today police responded, releasing body camera video of the event as questions are